Let's put this interior back together. So last time you saw it, looked like this. I have a large pile of new stuff, and this is actually only some of the stuff. You can see a new cover right here, new shift plate, new steering wheel. Some of the stuff that I bought, I'm gonna have to dye in order to make it work. Luckily, I bought 4 cans of dye to finish it off. This piece, the only problem with it, is a small little scratch right there, maybe a little indentation here, and that might come out. But yep, this stuff's gonna get dyed today, and I can at least put the rear of the car back together, the rear compartment back together. One of the things that I had to do, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it, was replace this shifter console. So the guy that had this before, he'd obviously taken it apart. He broke the 2 bottom tabs. He put in this stupid switch and this little light thing. I don't know what else he did, but that wood grain is on there and that's gross. But what I have to do is basically I have to transfer most of this onto this. Now I have another shift boot. I bought a new one because red is ugly. And all this is going to go, some of this, and then the door is going to go. Transferred over to this new one. I think this was like 50 bucks or so, but you know what, it's totally worth it, because if you put them side to side, this one has all these scratches, and you know, I hate stuff like this gimmick stuff. I hate it. So this has to go too. Here is the finished product. I had to get a different ashtray door because the one that was on the car had a broken arm on the back. They had to try to fix it with screws, and the spring was missing and all that kind of stuff. These doors have a tendency to get bent at the hinges, so this one doesn't fit 100%, you know, the way it's supposed to, but it's close. It also doesn't match because it's older than the rest of the plastic, but I mean, again, driver quality car. It looks a heck of a lot better than it used to. It doesn't have all that stupid stuff inside of it, and there's no wood grain or anything like that. The main problem you get with these doors is they pit, because these are made of pot metal while everything else is plastic. So it's going to be good enough. These are on the first coat of spray dye. They're looking pretty good. I'm going to do another coat here in a second, and we'll get them finished up. Another thing that needs to be taken care of is the steering column. So believe it or not, everything works. So the tilt, the telescope, the horn, the wipers, turn signals, you name it, it works. But it's really, really ugly. I believe somebody had maybe tried to touch up, paint it before, but I've taken a flat blade screwdriver and gotten most of the big chunks off of it, and then I'm going to sand it down, make it nice and smooth, and then dye it just like the rest of this stuff. I mean, this is really like deja vu from the 74 that I just finished, but you know what? It makes all the difference to have it looking good. So yes, we will get that done, and I have a new steering wheel for it. There is the new steering wheel. As you notice, the back window has no tint on it anymore, which is good. It's an eBay special. It's not stock, it's a little bit fatter, but it's the same diameter and it's new. So it looks a bunch better than the old one. You remember, there's the old one, and it has electrical tape wrapped around the top where the sun kind of killed it, and it's just really sticky and gross. So this is much better. Here are the dyed pieces, all ready to go. I still have those 2 to do. Armrest patches, rear storage door frame, good stuff. This is my favorite though. This piece used to be black, now it's red. Looks really, really good. I can put that in and then put a lot of the interior back together because this one's ready to go. I want to show you guys the difference between the dyed pieces, and these are original red pieces. And if you see, there's really not much. These might be a little darker just because they still have a little bit of dirt on them. But, I mean, you guys can see that yourself. They're very, very close. That's what I love about the dye. It'll match anything that you don't need to dye. So, to clean these up, I used my favorite bathroom cleaner, Scrubbing Bubbles. I used kind of a stiff bristle brush. I let it sit on there for about 30 seconds, and then I clean with the bristle brush in circles. The reason why is you see all this texture. To get the dirt out of that, you're going to need that brush, and then you need, when you wipe it down, the towel or the cloth that you use needs to have a little bit of nap to it. But Yep, these are ready to go back in. Take a look at the old armrest versus the new one. I probably could have cleaned this one up and dyed it, but if you look close enough, you can see that all the texture has been rubbed off, obviously, by people's arms on the armrest. And then it's got all these like chips and stuff in it. And yeah, it would have looked okay, but this was cheap enough that I'm like, you know what, boom, new one. And it's going to look awesome because it's going to be something that you're going to see right when you open the door. And it's going to match the new console that's right next to it as well. Something else that's kind of silly is they forgot to connect this light, which turns on the indicator on the dash whenever your parking brake is up. And it's really easy to put back. I don't know what they were thinking, but there it is. I was in the middle of assembling the rear doors, and I just couldn't put the carpet back the way it was. So I have this carpet cleaner. Thanks, Mom, for letting me borrow your carpet cleaner. And you can see this is the worst of the doors. I'm going to get it out of the sun so you guys can see it. So this right side obviously is the side I've cleaned, and then the left side is what it was. When I bought the car, the guy was like, "It's got new carpet in it," and I'm like, I'm just happy I was able to clean it up. So this is going to need at least another pass, even so. But the other two, so this one cleaned up really, really nice, and then this one I've only done half. But you can just see the difference that cleaning makes. Yes, for clean carpet. The interior work continues on the 77. Last time you saw it, I was in the middle of figuring out all the wires, and I figured out all of them. Really, the only one that's really is that yellow one. That's a radio wire, but of course it's cut. I plan on putting the radio that was in here back in here because it does work. But I'm planning on using the power feed from the cigarette lighter in order to power the radio. That's okay in my book, the reason being, well, you shouldn't smoke in your Corvette anyway. Hey look, I forgot to plug that in. Yeah, so that lights that up. Anyway, but I mean all the wiring for the AC control was in good shape. This car doesn't have defrost or power windows, so those aren't going to be needed to be plugged in. And look how clean it is under here. There's no wires at all other than this antenna cable. How it should be. I fixed this light. That was just dangling around. The flasher will kind of hang right here. And then this is the harness for the center gauge deck, which I have yet to put in. So really, it's looking a lot better with that being new and that being new. This whole part looks great. Same with this right here. Column is all painted up and looking nice again. I'll probably do a quick spray on the very top of this dash. It's just a little faded. We'll see. But I'm waiting for a part to put the column back together. I have the steering wheel there, and I painted up the horn button and everything. It's going to look really good when it's done. Now, this doesn't show up really well on camera. I don't know why. It looks so crappy on camera, but I cleaned all the carpet and glued it down where it's supposed to be and had the correct rear frame and everything, and that's looking really, really good, especially when it compared to what it used to look like. The door panels, I'm going to end up probably doing a quick spray on them since I have 3 cans of dye left and putting on the armrest patches, but you know, little by little this is coming together and it's looking awesome. Oh, and that center duct, I have one. I don't know why he just forgot to put it in, but he did. Stupid. I've been asked by quite a few people how I go from this to something like this. Yes, this seat used to be white like the other one, but it has been spray dyed red. I'm going to show you my process and how I do it. It's really simple. It's not hard to do. It's like painting anything else. It's all about prep and not making your coats too heavy. So what I do first is I use a cleaner. Scrubbing bubbles for me works the best, but it's really acidic, so you have to make sure after you're done cleaning all the dirt off the seat that you then clean the seat again. And then I use this grease and wax remover, which I pretty much do twice on all the leather just to make sure that it's really, really clean. The spray dye that I use is from Corvette America. It's good stuff. The problem is it's like $19 per can. So you have to make it last. Don't, waste it or anything like that, but it's great. As you can see, it lets the surface grain show. That's what I like about it. It's not paint, it's dye, okay? And the last few Corvettes I've done, I've dyed the seats and they've done really, really well. This one, as you can see, is really dirty and it's going to need some love, but it's a really simple process. When you get to the dyeing step, just do a little mist coat, and then from there, it takes about 2 or 3 coats to get it solid, depending on what color you're starting with and what color you're going with. So that's how I do it.